everyone, welcome to the next episode of the 4-Minute Warning. I'm Steve Kashat.
And I'm Jason Davish.
Today's episode is all about closings. We're going to prepare you on how to get ready for the buyer side and as well as the seller side.
That's right, we'll be giving you tips on what to do before, during, and after closing. As a buyer, before you get to the closing table, you really want to make sure that you've reviewed all of your closing disclosures to make sure all the numbers are correct. Also, very important, a final walkthrough. Whether it be the night before or the morning of, you really want to make sure you go there, make sure there's no issues to the property, because once you sign, that property is yours. Now, the most important part, wiring the money. Buyer beware. Make sure you consult with your realtor or your title company before you wire any type of funds.
So as a seller, the first thing you want to do, just like the buyer, is review the closing statement. It'll show you all your debits and credits, see what you're paying, what's coming to you. You want to make sure those numbers are correct, and if anything looks wrong, you want to contact your agent and ask questions. Number 2, leave your house clean. Leave your house as if you were buying the house and your first impression was important to you. You don't want your buyer to be disappointed coming into a dirty house for the first time. Finally, before the closing, you should always take a final water reading. Contact the city and request a final water bill. It's very important because there's going to be at least a $300 water escrow held, so you really want to get that money back as soon as possible.
So here we are at the closing table. Now, this is forewarning. You will be signing a lot of documents. Amongst these documents are some very important ones. One being the property transfer affidavit. Title companies will leave that on the top so you can take it to any municipality to homestead the property if that's what you're doing. You have 45 days to take that in, so it's very important to take that in. If there's any key exchange forms, depending on how the deal is structured, you want to keep that on the top. That way when you meet up with the sellers, it's available to you. Also, very important, exchange phone numbers with the sellers. That way if you have any questions after closings or any questions you forget to ask at the closing table, you'll be able to just call them and ask them and it's good to go. If not, us, your agents, will be able to get in contact with them one way or another. Also, it's good to make a copy of everything. That way you can provide it for your CPA for tax purposes. And then at the end of that, depending on where you're at, get that bubbly flowing and enjoy it and celebrate.
So as a seller, we're now at the closing table. Now the first thing you want to do is remember to bring all the keys and garage openers to the closing. The second thing you want to do is leave any owner's manuals and warranties for any appliances out for the buyers to find. That way, if they have any questions, they can refer to those and they don't have to bother you for that. The third thing you want to do is always set a transfer date for all your utilities so that the new buyer doesn't have any problems transferring all the utilities into their name. And the last thing you really want to do at the closing is keep track of all your escrows. As I mentioned earlier, there may be things like a $300 escrow to pay the water bill. So once the title company pays that water bill, you want to make sure that you receive the balance from that $300. And the last thing you're going to do is celebrate. Hey Jay, what's that champagne you were talking about, bro?
Coming right up.
We hope you found this video informative.
Of course, there's a little bit more to closings, but we couldn't cover everything in this video due to our limited time. So if you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get to them as soon as we can.
Cheers, buddy. See you next week.